done with your empty cans and empty water bottles, or even empty glass, why don't you decide to put them in our new recyclable boxes? They're in different classrooms, and there are girls walking around during lunch periods to collect your recyclables. It helps the environment, and it helps our senior project, so thanks.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. Here's some environmental tips. Switch to using aluminum water bottles, such as these, which are reusable instead of plastic water bottles. And you can also join the Environmental Awareness Club.
Look under your desk. Look in your bag. Do you have a water bottle? Shame on you. What are you doing? Why do you have a water bottle? Recycle that right now. Put it in a box and recycle it. What are you doing? Today we are going to discuss the controversy over recycling water bottles, plastic, cans, aluminum, etc. Enjoy. History. In 2002, New York City ended plastic and glass recycling, for it was costing more than regular disposal. The economic impact outweighed the benefit. Later on, as New York City shut down its last landfill and prices increased to dispose in landfills due to transportation, recycling thus became more economically logical and was once again incorporated into the city system. New York City signed a 20-year contract with the Hugo New Corporation, the United States' largest recycling company, which established a state-of-the-art facility on South Brooklyn's waterfront. There, automated machines process and sort recyclables. Railroads and barges transport quickly and cost-effectively to the area. It proves that recycling can improve landfill space, the environment, and actually be more cost-effective than regular landfill disposal. Recycling is mandatory in some United States cities, such as Pittsburgh, Seattle, and San Diego. Seattle's mandatory recycling law in 2006 demanded businesses sort paper, cardboard, and yard waste, while at home, people must sort between basic recyclables, paper, cardboard, aluminum, glass, and plastic. If businesses have more than 10 recyclables in their garbage, they are given warnings and are eventually fined. At home, the garbage will not be collected until the recyclables have been removed. The United States opened its first recycling center in 1896. In 1996, columnist John Tierney wrote in the New York Times that recycling is garbage. This started the controversy over if recycling is truly effective. He quoted, "Mandatory recycling programs offer mainly short-term benefits to a few groups: politicians, public relations consultants, environmental organizations, and waste handling corporations, while diverting money from genuine social and environmental problems. Recycling may be the most wasteful activity in modern America." He also stated that recycling doubled energy usage and increased pollution and taxes. The National Resources Defense Council and Environmental Defense, two of the nation's most influential environmental organizations, released reports stating that recycling is effective, reducing use of non-renewable resources, pollution, landfill space, and MSW, while costing less than normal garbage collection and disposal. Ethical issues.
Many believe that recycling provides an easy way out for people. They feel that they can buy and consume as much as they want, knowing they will recycle their waste, instead of choosing to reduce or refuse before we use and recycle. Refusing and reducing consumption are the most effective ways to cut down our waste before recycling. Another issue is that often products are not designed or purchased with recycling in mind. This has led many householders to say that they are beginning to lose confidence in a system that has only been in existence for the last decade. Many think, though, that it's easy to forget that as recently as 2000, as much as 90% of waste in England was still being sent to landfill. In 2008, it stood at 59.9% of household waste.
Economic issues.
Cities are trying to make recycling more cost-effective by decreasing the number of times curbside pickup occurs and using automated machines to sort and process. Some countries will even reuse our castaway items. Green groups encourage people to recycle. In the past, 30% of MSW, or municipal solid waste, from U.S. cities has gone from normal landfill disposal to recycling. Michael Shapiro says, "A well-run curbside recycling program can cost anywhere from $50 to more than $150 per ton. Trash collection and disposal groups, on the other hand, cost anywhere from $70 to more than $200 per ton. This demonstrates that while there's still room for improvement, recycling can be cost-effective. It is also costly to establish recycling plants and pay for recycling services to pick up waste. This is the reason why CHS does not have recycling alongside with conflicts that janitors have with labor unions. Another downfall is that oftentimes an economic incentive is given to persuade people to recycle instead of people just wanting to do it themselves.
Statistics.
Before MSW calculations were made, it was recorded by the EPA in the U.S. that from 1980 to 2005, MSW increased 60%, which is 246 million tons of MSW. However, in 2005, MSW dropped by 2 million tons from 2004. EPA statistics for 2008 indicate that about 250 million tons of MSW was created, and of this, 83 million tons was recycled or composed. On average, 1.5 pounds of individual waste was recycled or composited, with a rate of 4.5 pounds of waste created per individual per day.
How do lack of decisions and actions affect future populations?
If recycling does not increase or continue, there will be less land space for landfills, further contamination of clean drinking water, thus reducing the amount of fresh water available to human populations.
Interesting facts about the use of water bottles.
More than 8 billion gallons of bottled water is consumed annually in the U.S. That means an 8-ounce glass per person per day represents $11 billion in sales. The Earth Policy Institute estimates that to make plastic for the bottles burns up approximately 1.5 million barrels of oil, which is enough to power 100,000 cars for a year. Nearly 90% of the bottles are not recycled. Solomon once said, "The bottled water industry is selling a vision of purity and people are buying it with the best of intentions. What they don't realize is that bottled water is actually much less regulated than tap water. There are a number of studies in which we find arsenic, disinfection byproducts, and bacteria in bottled water." While the FDA requires water sources to be inspected, sampled, analyzed, and approved, it only has one person on the job, so the industry has to do the inspecting itself. Nor do the FDA regulations prevent bottling companies from drawing water next to industrial sites, underground storage tanks, or dumps. E! Magazine reports, when Good Morning America conducted a taste test of its studio audience, New York City tap water was chosen as the heavy favorite over the oxygenated water O2, Poland Spring, and Evian.
According to MSNBC.com, Patricia Franklin, who runs the Container Recycling Institute, had said that she doesn't blame individuals as much as what she feels is a recycling system that hasn't kept up with consumption patterns, especially when it comes to water. Can you guess the amount of water bottles sold over the years? I bet you can't. Did you know that in 1997, 3.3 billion water bottles were sold? In 2002, that number was almost 5 times the amount, with 15 billion water bottles.